I'm going to probably go ahead and call this part 2 of the 4th video. I had some students come visit, and we just chatted for a little while. So I meant this to be one video, but they came in. I didn't want to turn them away. So I'm going to go with part 2 of primary source contextualization. In the last video, we worked on which one do we do? Passenger list. That's right. We did passenger list to the New World. And we talked about, like, for contextualization, we're just describing a historical moment, person, group, or action. And so in this case, as you can see in bold, I described a historical, let's see. Oh yeah, so I described a historical group of people, the Puritans or the Pilgrims. And we did that by just looking at the passenger list. I'm showing you right now on my video, or on the website. And I also Googled things. So I used Google to type in keywords. And based on those keywords, we found more specific groups. So, as I said in the last video, I don't expect students to know these very key groups of people. I'm going to give you guys vocabulary if you're my students, and if you're watching this with another teacher. They're going to give you vocab. We're going to give you readings. They're going to watch videos. We're going to do lectures, and you're going to hear these names, and you might be able to associate with them. But even the best historians don't have these things completely memorized. Not every historical person, group, or action, anyway. So don't feel bad if you don't know. Just type in the keywords like I did. Like, look on Google search. Actually, you can't even see it. Here, I'm going to move this real quick. Or not. There we go. No. Oh, here we go. I figured it out. There we go. Haha. So yeah, now you guys can see it. So it says 1635, colonists, Englishmen, and New England. And I got that from the source. So you can type in stuff like that, find the information. I'm going to put my little logo back. Got to keep on ripping my website. And what I'm going to do is we're going to scroll down actually to early maps. I want to look at these now, and I want to focus on trying to define a group, a person, or an event of some kind. Anything, really. And I'm probably actually going to avoid doing groups just because we just did that. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to do something else. So I'm on a different primary source now completely. It's 2 maps. I'll scroll down really quick so you can see them both. It's 2 different maps. One is made, let's see, the second one's made in 1651. This one is made in 1636. This is a new source. I'm going to go ahead and get my trusty little green pen. And as I scroll down, I'm just going to read the source information for my benefit and you. And then, yeah, we're going to see if we can practice this skill one more time, and then we're going to be done. So we have, from the days of Columbus on, explorers and cartographers made maps of the New World. The 2 maps below were made in 1636 and 1651. For context, recall that the Jamestown colony in Virginia was founded in 1608 and that the Mayflower landed in New England in 1620. Both of these maps show Virginia, but they portray it very differently. Compare the maps and consider why 2 maps of the same area would be so different. So we have 2 maps of the exact same area, and they're going to be a little bit differently, and are a little bit different. I can show you real quick. This is the earliest one. It says 1636 right here, and I think I can expand it a little bit so you can see maybe a bit better. There we go. It's a bit better. So you can see a map. They have little illustrations right here that looks like some kind of seal right here. And if I scroll down, we'll look at the second map, and wow, yeah, a lot more detail now. So again, look at that first map, and this map's got a lot more detail, because most likely people, as they explored, learned more about the actual rivers and what they looked like and how they went into the ocean. So this map has got a lot more detail, and it's kind of hard to see, but you know, I'm going to circle something. There's some illustrations. It looks like some kind of like dolphin or some kind of whale maybe here too and here. And that could mean like these are the animals they found in the water. It could just be an extra thing that the map maker did. A lot of times they even like wrote these different ships in here. Sometimes these ships were just random ships. Sometimes they actually were a historical moment, like a popular story. Maybe a ship got like, hit by a rock or ran into rocks. And so they have that picture in there. But what we have to do is we have to try to figure out more about these actual maps. So let me see. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do specifically. I need to describe a historical moment, person, group, or action. I think what I'm going to do is probably do a person, because right here I have a map maker named Gerard Mercator. I think that's the right word. If I scroll down, I got another guy named Edward Williams. They're both maps of Virginia. Okay. Oh, cool, too. There's sources right here. So let me see if I can click on I'm gonna refresh my page so I can get rid of my pen. I'm gonna scroll down. Yes, this is the source. We're gonna go ahead and click in this and see if it's got any information. Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff we don't want to look at. Never mind. So because the source information doesn't work, what we do is we can like highlight this name, and I'm just gonna drop it into Google. And here's the deal: this name is pretty old, and that name doesn't like really strike me as a name of a famous person. I don't really know that name. And even if it was famous, I would still write some extra information about it. So let's go back to the one that Gerard made. And we know Gerard is making a map of Virginia and Maryland. So we should write that in there. We should write Virginia and Maryland. And weirdly enough, one of my suggestions is 1636. So this is either a very popular search or something I searched before and I just forgot, but I can't. We'll see. So 1636. And yeah, we're getting a lot of information already. Actually, we're getting the same website that I'm getting this off of. If I go to Google Images, I'm getting this quite a bit. Yeah, we're getting a lot of the same map. So this is definitely this is a famous map of some kind. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this one, the very first one, and see if there's any background information. And just so the viewers know, this is what research looks like. It is typing in names, looking for information, checking out websites, and just seeing what you can find. Like right now, I'm just trying to find out if Gerard is anybody, like what information I can find out about him. And you know, that website didn't really have anything. It just has the map. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of it. You know, this might be one of those things where we don't really find much information about the guy. I'll try maybe one more random one. And we'll see. And so we have his map again. It says Gerard, and another map says Edward Williams. And so here's what I can write. Since our Google search isn't really coming up with things right away, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type both, or I'm going to just copy and paste their names. It's a lot faster. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to find the next guy. His name is Edward Williams. Copy his name in there too. And I'm going to say for both of them, let's see, we'll say, and Edward Williams both created maps of New England in the 1600s. These maps are relatively famous because a simple Google search will find several websites with these maps on them. So again, right now I'm trying to describe a historical moment, person, group, or action. I'm trying to place these guys into the context. So far, I've said that both maps have been created in New England in the 1600s. These maps are relatively famous because a simple Google search will find several websites with these maps on them. So these maps are somewhere out there, probably housed in a museum or an archive. We know that both artists were men who were creating some of the first maps of the New England area. And then I can kind of make I'm going to kind of make an assumption now. I'm going to make, based off my evidence, I'm going to say this, which possibly means both map makers had their maps viewed by many early colonists. So the fact that these guys are some of the first map makers probably means that these maps were really widely used by the people. These emblems might mean something. And again, I'm not an expert enough to know exactly what all this means, but I'm seeing a lot of interesting things about these emblems. Like this one's got a crown on it. And I don't know, these emblems might mean that they're like, I don't know, maybe they're made by or they're for royalty. Maybe they're made for the people who live in this area. I don't really know, honestly. But it does give us some food for thought. Oh wow, I just realized what this says too. It says the Sea of China and the Indies. That's kind of cool. So that kind of shows you that these guys, and that's something we can write too. Like the fact here, I'll go back to it just in case I went too fast. This thing right here says the Sea of China and the Indies, the thing I'm circling with my mouse. So we can go back and we can at least say Edward Williams believed that the coast of the New World was still near China and the Indies because you can see that name on his map. So again, I'm putting that in context. I'm basically describing how these people thought that the New World was actually Asia. And that's kind of a cool thing to discover. So sometimes, like, I was about to give up on it, but sometimes you just need to stick with it, and you'll see things like this. You're like, oh, wow, like, yeah, they really still thought that this place was China or near India. And so that kind of gets into the entire story of, like, why these people called Native Americans Indians, because they really didn't know. They had no idea that this place was still actually, you know, a completely different continent. And this is 100 years after the colonies were discovered. So, I don't know, it's an interesting thought. There's probably a lot more detail in it. Again, you can check out these sources by going to the links below. I always put links in all these sources down in the section where the videos have descriptions. So feel free to check those out. And this is basically the notes. This is a complicated skill, I suppose. I know in the beginning I said it was simple, but really it is actually complicated because you need to know a lot of information, and you need to be comfortable going to Google and typing in basic info like I just did. The more you go to Google, and I can kind of move my little logo again to show you what that looks like. The more you go to Google and you type in names, you give it basic information, you're going to find a lot of detail. And as long as you're coming up with some kind of explanation, that's really all a teacher wants, is we just want to see students creating some kind of original idea. But it's been about 11 minutes for this video. Part 1 was about 7 or 8, so I think that's enough time. And yeah, just to remind you, this is a History Forge video. We're doing primary sources all the time. If you're a teacher watching these, check out the links below, join the website, become a fan. If you're a student and these videos are helping out, make comments below if you want. Ask me questions. If you're another student outside my district, ask questions as well. I'll be happy to answer them for you. But that is all for now. My name is Taylor Hamblin. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you later. Bye.